channel, and today I'm going to be talking about It Chapter 2. So I went and saw this last night. It's Friday night, it is Saturday now that I'm filming this. I should hopefully have it up same day. We'll see. Anyway, so I went and saw this last night. And I'm going to try to kind of keep this spoiler free because I know it did just come out. So I am just going to it's probably going to be a real quick review, just give some of my thoughts without going into too much detail. So for starters, I did enjoy this. I haven't really been watching many reviews. I did watch Emma from Spooky Astronauts Come With Me, spoiler-free review. Aside from that, I really haven't watched any other reviews or really looked anything up as far as people's feelings about this. But she did mention in that there were some people having like some negative feelings about this film, which I mean is always gonna happen. To be honest, I kind of maybe understand where some people are coming from. For me personally, I don't know what it was about it. I unfortunately didn't find the second half to be quite as scary as I found the first half. I don't know if it was just that there was like such an intense build up to the first one. I saw not the opening night, but I did see it the opening weekend, just like this one. But I remember, there being this long line of people to go see the film, and this movie theater is packed with a combination of, adults who have been waiting for this, and their children, and who know nothing about it, and it was just like all this excitement surrounding it. And not that there wasn't excitement surrounding the second half, I just didn't feel thatness there, I guess. But I don't know, I didn't find this one to be quite as scary, which was kind of disappointing, and I don't know if it's also just because, I have not read the book. I'm not one of the people that have read the book, but I have obviously seen the original adaptation, wearing my shirt, and I do really like this new adaptation. I think Bill Skarsgård does an amazing job as Pennywise. If you haven't seen my review for the first one, there will be a link in the description below. But where I was going, maybe it does have something to do with the fact that you kind of already know that it's going to end. That this is going to be the end of it. There's going to be no more Pennywise. They are going to defeat him. That's not to say that there weren't parts that weren't creepy. And I mean, there definitely were parts that were scary. I think, especially towards the end when they all are finally kind of coming together to go off and find Pennywise, and they think they know how to defeat him, and where he's at. That whole ending, and I don't really feel like this is a spoiler. I feel like you're gonna kind of know this is coming, but the whole ending fight scene was definitely really intense, and I really enjoyed that. And I really enjoyed the entirety of the film. I just wasn't terrified watching it. There's also a lot of comedy in this one, and that's not to say that there weren't bits of comedy in the first one, but this one just like really piled on the comedy, which was okay, and I did like that, and I don't think that it by any means ruined it. I just don't know if that maybe had some sort of effect on it. If you're subscribed to my channel, if you watched my reactions to the trailers for this and things, I've talked about before that I was a little bit hesitant going into this regarding the cast, who they chose as the adults, just because you do have quite a few, big names. Jessica Chastain, Bill Hader, who I adore, but just wasn't sure. You got people in this, and so I was hesitant about it because I liked the fact that in the first half, most of those kids, aside from Finn Wolfhard, who was obviously known for like Stranger Things by this point, you really had a pretty not well-known cast. and going into the second half you do. But I thought that everybody did a fantastic job. I thought that the casting was actually really perfect for their counterpart, and so I ended up actually really liking the cast and was pleasantly surprised that everyone was such a perfect match for the most part, I felt like. And of course I did like the fact that they did go back and forth. They kind of filled in a couple of parts. They did, flashbacks to scenes that we didn't see, things that, happened in between moments in the first one, to kind of fill some stuff in and give a little bit more, into kind of what they were thinking during the whole parts of the first one, and I really like that. And obviously, we have some unfortunate deaths that take place in the film. This is in the book and in the first adaptation, so it's not that much of a spoiler, but if you haven't not seen any of those, you don't know anything about really what happens, and you have not seen the second half, this is going to be a spoiler. So obviously I'll put my little icons so nothing is ruined for you, but I do kind of want to talk about these, I guess, 3 kind of big moments that happened within the film. So we're into those spoilery moments. So the first, obviously, being Stanley's death. It is revealed at the end that he did it to kind of save everybody because he knew he couldn't bring himself to go back there. And I don't recall if that is his reasoning in the book or in the original adaptation. Someone can let me know. But I thought that was a very interesting way to go with it, because they show these moments throughout it of kind of how horrible, Stanley's childhood sort of was. We all know his father treated him like shit. He was, obviously bullied, in part because he's Jewish, and was clearly, and they even talk about him being, beyond his years as a kid, that he was already kind of mentally in an adult state as a child. And to me, it felt very much obvious that Stanley is depressed, even since he was a childhood. He's been, suffering from things. And so I thought that, and it felt like they were purposely kind of implying that, and then they throw this whole thing of him doing it to, save everybody. And I just wasn't really sure how I felt about that. I feel like they, could have left that out, but I also, kind of understand that maybe it might make them or the viewer watching feel like a little bit better about Stanley's death. I don't know. And then, of course, Ed. That part definitely broke my heart. I was in there are they really about to kill off Richie instead? And then, of course, that ends up being Ed, which, Eddie was my favorite character from the first half. The little kid is adorable, and I just loved his character. His character would be a bit of an asshole, but their back and forth is amazing, and it's just when you know what you know about Richie, and obviously that's the other big third spoiler moment, his feelings towards Eddie. It's just such a heartbreaking moment. Obviously the whole Richie Eddie, obviously we know at this point Richie's big secret, which is that he's gay, but they haven't really put it so much in our face, his feelings for Ed, until after he dies. And then, of course, at the very end, when we reveal on the bridge that he was carving R+E, which I totally was but it's a fucking E on the other side of that plus sign. That's right. Now, this movie is nearly 3 hours long. It's a long-ass film, but for some weird reason, it's still, I don't know, it felt like there was still something missing, and I'm really sure what it was. And I guess, I don't know, maybe the scare factor, because like I said, I didn't find it that terrifying. But I also did like the ending of it. I liked the fact that we kind of got to see these, you know, remaining people go on to be living these kind of happy lives. I mean, I guess we don't really get to see what happens to Richie, which is kind of a disappointment. We also don't find out what happened with the little kid at the carnival who Pennywise took. I guess I'm assuming he's just dead. But even, like I said, even though the majority of this review was kind of me complaining about something, I did really, really like it. I don't think I'll be going to see it for a second time. I did see the first half twice, because I went with some friends, and then I took Matt again another night, and me and Matt went together today, so I don't think I'll be seeing this again, unless, you know, there's somebody who wants to drag me along to go see it. But I mean, I'll definitely be getting it when it comes out on DVD. You know, I have the first half. If you have not seen it, if you watch this review, and you aren't sure if you want to spend the money to go see it, if you really enjoy the first half and you've been excited to see the second half, and you've been watching reviews or reading things online, I still suggest go seeing it. Form your own opinion. Your opinion may be completely different from mine. Let me know what your guys' thoughts were in the comments below if you have seen it. Please try to avoid leaving spoilers in the comments. If you do, please do put a spoiler warning at the top of your comment, just so anybody who maybe is going through will know. And if you guys did enjoy this review, please do give it a big old thumbs up and make sure that you hit the subscribe button for more horror related content. And before I go, I want to give a quick shout out to my Patreons. Thank you guys so much for helping to contribute to the channel. If you want to know the perks to being a Patreon, links are in the description below, as well as all my social media. And I also have a special promotion throughout the month of September that's going on Patreon, so you can find all that information down below, and I'll see you guys later with another video.